Welcome back, fellow Christian soldiers. Today we're going to be talking about the breastplate of righteousness. Now, I didn't have a flak jacket or a current breastplate, so I'm using my grandfather's vest as a stand-in. As you can see, it's well used and well loved. But when Paul tells us to put on the breastplate of righteousness, no one disagrees as to what that is. That is the forgiveness of sins, and we only get that from Jesus Christ. By asking him to forgive us of our sins, we can be declared righteous in front of God. But Paul uses the example of a breastplate for righteousness. And a breastplate is interesting because it is two-sided. Not only do you have the front, which protects, obviously, your front, but you have to personalize it with covering your back. And we notice that when Jesus talks about forgiveness, he always includes it in two parts. As you forgive others, so your Father forgives you. He makes it dual-sided. In fact, he goes on to tell an entire parable about a wicked servant who was forgiven much by a king, but refused to forgive a fellow servant of a very minor debt. And the king was so angry at that corrupt servant that he put the exact same punishment on the servant. And he said, I forgave you a lot, and you would forgive no one a little. So Jesus clearly wants us to forgive. Now, when we come to the Lord's Prayer, what do we see? Forgive us our sins. The first half, that covers us, that cleanses us, and puts on that belt of righteousness. Or that breastplate of righteousness, as we forgive those who sin against us. That's what tailors that breastplate to us. Now, in the military, a vest that is too big or too small can actually interfere and get in your way. As a small person, if I was carrying a big man's armor, it would be too heavy, too bulky. I couldn't move in it. And bigger people who have put on my armor, since I'm a smaller individual, what they found was my armor would get between their belt and the love handles and pinch. And that really hurt. The breastplate has to be tailored to you. And when we forgive others, as Jesus says, as you forgive, so we will forgive you. As your Father will forgive you. So which comes first? God forgiving us or us forgiving others? Well, it's impossible for us to forgive others unless Jesus has first forgiven us. And I will tell you that I struggle with forgiving others. But in the Lord's Prayer, before you're getting out of bed, because we're looking to do this quickly, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. You have put on the breastplate of righteousness before you've even got out of bed. So, our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And you are already mostly armored, ready to fight the spiritual battles that are most definitely going to come against you and your family or some other Christian in the world that day. And when you say, forgive us our sins, again, us, the entire Christian community. As we, again, the entire Christian community, forgive those who sin against us. It's very much a corporate prayer designed to armor all the saints all the time. So we thank you for joining us for this very brief, very quick example of the breastplate of righteousness. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.